Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Now in Massachusetts, you can get your standard driver's license regardless of immigration status. Gather all required documents: proof of identity and date of birth, proof of Massachusetts residency, and proof of Social Security status. Next, register at mass.gov/myrmv for your learner's permit. When you pass, schedule your road test at mass.gov/myrmv and prepare at mass.gov/road test. Register today.
Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Monday, August 14th, 2023. And as you can see, we are back in the studio. We'll be here for about a month or so. We have some things coming, some changeover, some upgrades happening in September. That's also the birthday month. Let me just really pause real quick because you all had me cracking up with the reel about the Mother's Board Mother's Board and family birthday gathering versus the others, or the other gatherings for the others. Everybody is like, I want to be invited to the others, not the Mother's Board, not the family gathering, the others. And so we'll have more information coming up about that. As you know, the last couple of years, Thaddeus Miles has curated Black Joy Weekend. And so I go and support Uncle Thaddeus, and we'll let you know about the birthday gathering, but keep September 8th through 10th open. The Road to Wellness race is happening on the 9th as well. But this morning it is Mental Health Mondays, and I know some of you miss Dr. Brandy. I miss her as well, and I wanted to shift some things over back into more of a clinical space, and so we'll do that in the upcoming Mondays. But August is Small Black Business Month, or Black Business Month, and we are celebrating this month Black businesses. We have a sister here this morning. I told her in sort of our pre-conversation, when we posted the flyer, social media just went crazy, and so she's well known for her work. And I took a look at the website and saw her mission and what she's doing. And in these very interesting times in our country, in our region, in our state, and yes, in Boston, we cannot take for granted that white supremacy does not operate and move well here in this city. I'm not going to belabor that. I'm going to bring my guest in this morning. Her name is Toya Washington. She is the CEO and founder of the Masters Tools. I'm going to put a little background music in here. And Toya, good morning to you. It is Mental Health Monday in the Java Cafe, and I think the correlation between the business piece, it being Mental Health Monday, and what this game does and other things you're working on does, I think is so apropos to mental health, because we as Black folks, we deal with some things from supremacy and whatnot. So if you could start off by introducing yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and at the end, describe your mental health status in the moment right now with only one word.
Ooh, one word. So hi everyone, I'm Toya Washington. I'm the CEO and founder of the Masters Tools game company, which is a game company to really start conversations around different systems of oppression, and really just kind of encouraging topics and thinkings around like social justice. And so what would I describe myself as right now? You know what? I'm gonna just talk about myself first because I'm still in that one word.
Listen, give yourself your own flowers. Come on.
Right. How would I describe myself? Things I like to do, of course, I like to play games, lots of games. That's kind of how I was raised. I am a Boston native, Dorchester, born and raised specifically. Still love Dorchester, even though I transitioned out after finishing undergrad. I'm a proud public school graduate. I went to Salem State University, which is about like 40 minutes north of Boston. I am currently studying public administration for my master's degree at Northeastern.
Yes.
Yeah, which is why I'm like mental health conversation. Working full time, and then yeah, and then I guess outside of like work and stuff, I love to do really anything in nature. My body's feeling kind of out of sorts because I went on a hike yesterday and got caught in the rain.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, love anything that has to do with nature. I also like to write a bit, also around social justice topics. If anyone hasn't read my op editorial on the strong Black woman stereotype in the Boston Globe, please feel free to check that out.
yes.
Um, and yeah, I guess that's a little bit about me. Mental health status.
One word, just one word.
I'm gonna say indifferent. That is the one word. Just because I think it's important to learn how to take things day by day too,
Okay.
and
Yes.
that's a really big thing for me. I guess like don't even if you feel defeated for the day, don't let it now become oh I'm defeated for the week because I feel like it's easy for something to happen and then you're like oh this week is bad or the month is bad. It's like no, it was just the moment.
Yeah.
It's just the moment, and it's okay.
You better come on here. I know we're going to talk about the game and things, but let's do a deeper dive there for a second because I've never heard anyone. I've been doing this show for almost 3.5 years, and at least 3 years we've stuck to the use one word for mental health.
Mhm.
That indifferent piece and the grace, I guess you're saying that we have to give ourselves and not, something happens right now and oh, today's Monday.
Mhm.
So if the first part of Monday goes bad, oh, it's going to be a bad day. And then we're thinking it's Monday, so it's going to contribute to it's going to be a terrible week. We're in the middle of the month, and so now is August going to be, the rest of August is it going to be a terrible month? Why is it important to be real about what happened, what's going on, but then give yourself grace for what's next? Why did you or how did you get to that point of not wallowing or as we said from the movie Get Out, the sunken place? Like how do you avoid that sunken place and be indifferent about the mental health status? I like that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think that specifically during the pandemic, over the last 3 years, the mental health crisis has just gotten like terrible. And I think a lot of people have to recognize that there are so many steps before you get into that dark place. There might be situations where like something will happen and it will bring you straight there.
Yeah.
But for a lot of my experience, at least, it's kind of been things piling up until you're kind of sunken, like you're talking about. And so I think that to for prevention measures, you want to just acknowledge your moment as your moment and not make it the whole time. And I was guilty of this before. I would be like, oh my gosh, this happened to me, and now my day is bad, even though this happened at 9 a.m. and it's now 4 p.m. I would like my whole day was bad. And sometimes it'll turn into, well, I was inconvenienced 3 times this week, therefore now my week is bad. Don't let it be 4. Now the whole month, now I'm done, right? And so I had to really learn how to just take that moment as that moment and give myself grace in that and say, you know what? You're allowed to be angry right now. You're allowed to be sad right now. You are allowed to feel however you want to feel in this moment. And nobody can tell you when you can't feel that way anymore, right? There is no get over it period. If I want to drag it all day, then I can because I deserve to have my own time to do that, right? But
But
I
come.
think that you have to also hold yourself accountable and be like, okay, yes, I got a ticket at 9 and my tire popped at 12, but that does not mean now my whole Monday is just terrible, right? And so I had to take, things like that. And of course, there are situations that are a lot more serious than that. But again, like at a very micro level, it might be little things building up until you're like, wow, I'm done. So it's important to just honor that, that it's just your moment and things will get better. But if you don't feel like things are going to get better, they won't, because now you're going to kind of view everything You know what I'm saying? Something you wouldn't have seen as the biggest issue in the world will become a bigger issue because you're already in that space. And so yeah, that's definitely what I would say about it.
There's a lot of little gems you're popping up in here as far as like I heard, and I'm going to ask it may seem sarcastic, but there is prevention when it comes to mental health. You can prevent some things in getting to know yourself, and so maybe at another time we can have you come back and further expound around that, because I really want to highlight the wonderful things that you're doing as a Black-owned business, a small Black-owned business. Those are usually classified as businesses with, I believe, 25 or 50 or less employees. If you're
Mhm.
like me, it's just me and them, me, myself, and I. And definitely shout out to the Davis system and others that are supporting me. But as a Black-owned business, it can be very interesting in the mental health space. Another mental health space that you and I are familiar with as being Black in this country, region, state, and yes, even in this city, we
Mhm.
probably have encountered some things. Tell us about the master's tools, first of all, the master's tools in its overall concept, and let's talk about the game. How did you come up with this concept? You said you like gaming. How did you, and it seems, I guess, you were able to find your passion and turn it into a business. And I know a lot of people want to do that. And so tell us about that road and how you got there.
Yeah. Honestly, it's kind of been a long journey to me. And I feel like the game company part was just like a full circle moment.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so a little bit more about the company. I don't Are you familiar with RG Lord?
Not totally, but I've heard the name. Or wait a minute,
Mhm.
Arch, who's that?
She's a very big social theorist and feminist. I feel like you may have probably like read some of
Okay,
her pieces, and then you like I'm sure if I like showed you some things, you'll be like, oh, okay, I know who
okay,
this is.
exactly. A little bit old, so sometimes the names, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Um, so I majored in sociology in undergrad, and so I was studying a lot of social theory, and she was one of my favorite social theorists. She had coined this kind of idea: the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house, and that theory she used to kind of talk to white feminists about the fact that the different systems and characteristics that this country was built on are not the things that are going to help move us forward. And her whole purpose of that in the feminist movement was trying to explain that, like, we are better together using tactics to fight these things that are building up the system than trying to use them to fight each other because they're only upholding the system and it's not going in the right direction. Um, and so I always loved that idea because it's correct, right? The term like you can't fight fire with fire. It's very much true, right? You have to use something else to light it out. And so I always loved that theory. And then I guess kind of a little bit more on like my I guess learning games background. When I was in third grade, I really struggled in math. It was not my favorite thing to do. I'm still not that good in math, to be quite honest. But um, I really struggled, and my teacher had made me play on this website. I'm not sure if it's still around, but it's called firstinmath.com. And I used to play that for the last like 20 minutes of each class time during math. And I love games and I'm very competitive. So that's how she got me. So I went from not being good in math at all to like the following years in elementary school and pretty much up until high school being like advanced in math. Um, and so those games really kind of helped me with my own learning. And I was able to do it in a way that was non-traditional and it was fun. And it kind of gave me a little bit more of a purpose why I wanted to be here because I was incentivized. I wanted to win and I was learning. And so kind of fast forward
Your
to
swag, hold on. Your swag switches up a little bit when you talk about competition and you wanted to win. It's a little, you can really see it when you start to
I
talk.
love no, I love to win. I'm not even gonna lie. And so I was always super competitive. At least when it came to like games. Like I won't be a sore loser if it's like, something else. But if we play in a game, then like we not friends no more. Like, don't bring out Uno because no, we're not friends no more. Like, this is some serious stuff that we're
Okay.
doing. It's very serious.
So let me
Um,
ask you, is it the same way about spades?
um, I'm not as good, so I'm a little bit more humble.
Wait,
All right, you're not about to get my black card revoked at 9 a.m. in the morning.
because you now this is going to be stereotypical. I might get a little bit of trouble with folks know my heart. You as a black woman in gaming. Spades, Jesus. I was just wait. Okay, no, I'm not gonna mess with you because then they're gonna hit me tomorrow. Jimmy, how could you be up
You're
here
gonna get my
shaming the
card
games?
revoked at 9
No,
a.m. on a Monday, and it's nice outside.
I'm oh, I like you. You just a little bit shady. Okay, yes. Oh, Anissa, look. Anissa said, laugh out. It's okay. Same. And so, we ever get together, we're gonna have to have a spades training.
Now
But
I
man,
gotta prep myself. Now I gotta prep.
listen, but I love because that competitive piece, I'm sure, has contributed to you. So let's talk a little bit mental health. A black woman in business. How has your journey been getting the website design? Let's talk about, if you don't mind, the good, bad, and ugly of being a black woman starting a business. It's Mental Health Monday. We have authors in here. We have entrepreneurs in here. We have someone that just left her full-time job and is now starting a sourcing business. So talk a little bit about that journey and end out with maybe lessons learned.
Yeah. I think one is like just being an entrepreneur in general, and being like the first entrepreneur in my family. Like I think nobody really talks about that part. Like nobody talks about when you come from a family that do not have businesses or have never kind of went down that path at all, because it's like, who do you really go to for help? Um, and I started it during the pandemic. So that was like another time that was kind of like wonky for everything. So it's like, who do you go to for guidance on this? You're really learning everything on your own. Like people talk about like first generation American, first generation college graduate, but like nobody talks about first generation entrepreneurs. And as we have these conversations around generational wealth and building that, a lot of that is ownership. And because you don't have, if you're first generation to start your own business and want to build that generational wealth, no matter what type of business you're starting, if you don't have that guidance, then you're going to fall in your face a lot alone. And so that was definitely a struggle because I was trying to understand, like, I'm a creative at the core of all things. So it's like, oh, I could come up with a concept and a game and a like whatever, but the business side is just like, oh, now I got to get an LLC. Now I got to do this. Now I got to do that. And then let's not even get into taxes, right? And keeping your books and all this other stuff. And so that part is like, I had to learn it on my own. Shout out to YouTube, right? Like shout out to Google, shout out to TikTok, because you really do have to like learn and research. And I feel like people with hustle culture, nowadays, it's like, yeah, start your own business and get this and get that. But nobody says, well, and here are the resources. Like this is what you should do. There's the steps, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't have those things. And so I had to do a lot of research kind of on the business side. And that part was hard. Nobody talks about like when you get your moment, when you get your momentum, keep it. You want to keep it going. You do not want to stop. Because if you stop, you never know when the next time you're gonna get your big break. And my like, I guess like big break happened a month after launching my business. And so it was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. So it was like, dang, I didn't even have time to learn everything that I would have wanted to learn, everything that I know now. At the time, I had got an article a month after my business launch in Boston.com. And I remember this day so clearly because I was getting my hair done. And, I would get, before when I launched it, I would get like a couple orders a week. Like maybe I would get like 4 or 5 games ordered. And I wasn't expecting anything too much, but I was getting my hair done on the Friday. I got one, like I could hear like the Shopify like ring, like the ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, wait, like what's happening? And so I went on and I realized my article was published. And it was just going and going and going. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting anxiety. I had to get off of Instagram and stuff because I was being mentioned so many times. There was just so much going on. I sold 500 games in 2 days. And that was a lot.
Okay.
Because again, this is my senior year of college. Again, I was not expecting so many people to be interested, especially because it's learning games. And I'm a nerd. I am. But I wasn't sure like how successful, it would kind of be. And so it was a lot. And I went from, just selling a few games to friends and friends of friends and people that knew me in Boston, to now 14, about 14 different states, somebody has purchased my games in 11 countries. And so that was like a lot. And it was all just off of this article that people were seeing and sharing on LinkedIn and all of this other stuff. But it became like a whole big thing. And I was overwhelmed because I was doing so many other things. And I just did not, I feel like some people talk about like, yeah, my business is going to go viral and I'm about to be like a millionaire tomorrow. That was not what I was thinking. That was not at all the goal in the first month of I was really trying to take my time. And I was doing organizing. I had all this other stuff going on. And so the mental health component, I feel like, is a big part of it, because you have to prepare yourself. And you also have to prepare yourself to understand like it's okay to take a pause and give yourself that grace. Because I was feeling in that moment like, no, this is like my prime. I got to just keep going. Like we were sitting there, shout out to my mother. We were sitting there packaging 500 games. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like this is, this is different. And so there's a huge part of like the mental health part that I feel like everybody, gotta acknowledge too, because we talk about I want my business to blow up and become this like great thing. But when you're alone, you gotta also remember like what that looks like on your mental health. If you have a full-time job or if you're in school or you just have other responsibilities and you weren't planning to make this like a full-time thing or like the thing that was going to take up all your time, and then all of a sudden you get that big break and something happens, you got to mentally prepare for that too.
If if folks that know me and know the platform and know the story know that I can really slip up under this desk real quick with a white sheet and some tissue and just be thank you Jesus, because my experience started in the pandemic, went live for one day just to prep our people for what we saw exacerbated in Black and brown communities during COVID. 3.5 years later, we're still here. It's monetized and we're having impact. And so to listen to you is very, very interesting for me. If this was a one-on-one conversation, I probably would have been, somebody pass me some Kleenex, please. Because it just, that piece about when you talked about alone and you talked about the first gen entrepreneur, not so much my family, but even outside of the family, generally, we often don't have a lot of people to go to. Partially because sometimes we're like, we don't want to take our idea. Let's keep that 100. The other piece is too, we don't right off bat know. Like, as I morphed into this, I look at a Joe Budden, I look at Drink Champs for a little bit of aesthetic, but then I look at Oprah. I remember, we probably have a little bit of an age difference, but Phil Donahue was one of the first, talk show hosts, Sally Jesse Raphael and them back in the days. And so you see those, but there's no local Black brother or sister that with a talk show or a vlogcast. And so much of what you said resonated with me. And not shut up, I'm sorry, be quiet, Sharon Cornelius. Yes, moist eyes. Absolutely. So many people are really resonating with what you're saying. Let's get more into the game, because we could stay in this space for a minute. We might have to have you back just for Mental Health Monday. I mean, just talking about the mental health piece of this. And so the Masters Tools is the company, and what's the name of the game?
So I have two games actually. So I have Meet the Colonizers.
Wait, huh?
Yeah, Meet the Colonizers. Right. You see, I love everyone's reaction, because I feel like that's kind of what pulls people to go, let me buy this. what are we about to talk about?
Yeah.
And the whole kind of idea is like there are so many different American heroes and systems and ideas that have been taught, in schools and all these other places that we know are not true. And so the game is challenging them, right? Like we know that Christopher Columbus did not actually discover America, right? So let's talk about that. We know that the first wave of feminism, at least with Western culture, was very exclusive, right? And did not include Black women, even though we've been at the vanguard of every single movement in history, even ones that are around. And so let's have those conversations. Let's actually talk about them and let's learn. And so Meet the Colonizers is really challenging those different American hero systems and ideas through a trivia game. And so, yeah, we kind of play. It's like you got about 30 seconds to answer this multiple choice question. And the goal of the game is to win as many cards at the end. And then it's also to kind of encourage you to self-educate. And then there you see, that's my game, Road to a Mill, which is really about the wealth gap and the fact that we don't actually have the same 24 hours in a day that they make it seem like we have, especially depending on what demographic you come from, whether that's like race or socioeconomic background. And it also just talks a little bit about strain theory, which is another theory that I enjoyed learning about in school, which is the fact that crime is related to economics. And
Say that again.
Crime is related to
crime. Okay, I thought you said crying. I was going to say, wait.
Oh,
I can cry. I can cry, and I'll be very well. Okay.
That is hilarious. But crime is related to economics.
Absolutely.
And so when you're actually looking at most of the like the crimes committed, it's robbery and like all these things, like you're trying to make money. But if you really get into it, if the government would set itself up the way it should, people wouldn't have to do all these.
Hold on. We need you to say that again so we can get a nice, good screen capture. Say that again with the same nod.
I said, if the government would set itself up the way it should, we wouldn't have to do all these different things to try to make money. And so the game kind of gets on that because there's obviously like the alternative ways people make money, like starting their own business and yada yada, or trying to make music, or going to the casino, or doing something they probably shouldn't be doing, right? So it's these alternative ways people need to make money because of how bad the economic crisis is. And so both games I find to be, really cool. I definitely enjoyed making them. And Meet the Call. So when I first started with the game company, it kind of just stemmed off of, I was making a lesson for students because I work with young people. I coach entrepreneurship. And so I work with young people, and I was making a lesson to kind of talk about the wealth gap and stuff. But then I realized if I had changed the formatting, it could be a game. And that's how I came up with Road to a Mill. But I launched Meet the Colonizers first because pretty much throughout the whole summer of 2020, I was just thinking about like, oh, this could be a cool game. And like, why don't we try this? And why don't we try that? And so I kind of spent like the next 6 months after that, like developing, games and things. And so, yeah, that's kind of.
No, not so yeah, like just some casual something. I'm trying to let me get you back on here so folks won't see the little production in the background. Oh my, I'm so, and I'm blessed. I'll say that, because sometimes when people say that word impressed, I know you're not out with that intention.
Mm-hmm.
I am encouraged. I am blessed. I'm inspired by listening to you as a Black woman who is filled with so much knowledge. Yes, about the business approach, but a lot of it, there's a lot that your peers, younger and older, can glean from you. In this space of just about staying positive and looking at that different perspective. You gave balance to the fact of being consistent, but then giving yourself grace when you need to take that. But there was so much, you kind of have guess and expect things to go one particular way. And this went very different from, what I thought. What I want to do is make sure that folks know in the comments, and I will try to hop on Facebook real quick so we can pin it to the top so it stays there. A lot of folks go and watch after the fact. So let me just navigate there. Somebody tried to talk about your page is down, and I'm like, no, it's not. Let me just there. Anissa, I deleted that message, so don't worry about it. I was like, you violated somebody's copyrights. Okay, here we go. I want to pin that to the top. Oopsie, terrible. Where's the okay? There is the pin. All right. The link to get to Toyel's website is pinned in the comments. Please go and support. The holidays are coming. School is getting ready to start. This is a perfect opportunity for you all to go and pick up both of these games, support this sister. Toyo, can you put your social media in the private chat there so I can put that on screen as well? And I'm just going to review some of the comments. Teresa said crying is most definitely related to economics. I cry with every Lorna, good to see you in the room as well. Inbox me that flyer, please, so I can get information about your event. Heidi said my nephews would love these games. Get these, especially Road to a Mill. Like that wealth gap in training our young people in financial. Well, first of all, not just young people. Some of us old heads need to sit down and play with these cards as well. So, all right. I want to make sure that you guys have, it is Aspiring T. That's for Okay. I'm going to be able. Oh, you know what? Let me just do the whole thing. They know I do this little behind the scenes production stuff in real time. So, and Toyo got to see me a little frustrated because the camera wasn't working right. All right, here we go. I'm just going to put it just like this. So on Instagram, it's aspiring.t. And on Twitter, it's aspiring_T_. Okay. Take a screenshot of this if you need to. I will put it in the comments as well, just as a point of reference for you all to go back. Please go follow her, blow up her Instagram, blow up her Twitter if you're on both. A couple of y'all, please go follow me on Instagram as well, because I'm at like 2,998. I just need 2 more followers and I'll hit that 3, and I'll just, I'm sure you get to those little points and you're like, it takes 3 weeks to get 2 people. But anyway, and we, you know what? We also need to create spaces for entrepreneurs. Just it's not exclusive, but there are certain conversations that we can have among us that we won't be judged. Regular folks, folks that aren't into the social influencer piece may view something like, hey, go follow, like, and share as whatever. No, but folks like us, that's revenue, that's recognition. And so we need to be able to have those conversations in spaces where we won't be judged. So we need to maybe figure something out how we do that and make that happen for folks. But is there anything that you wanted to share? Do you have any events coming up? Are you speaking anywhere? Are you having any sales or what is there anything else that we need to know?
I will be doing a pop-up shop next week at the I Have a Future community kickback. I continue
please
the flyer too, but that'll be happening from 4:30 to 6:30.
Okay.
On Friday. August 17th.
Okay, so you can, because sometimes I like to walk out with my stuff. I'll order Amazon and stuff, but will you have games on site that folks can walk away with? Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be having games there. And then of course you can always go on the site. And then I am free for crash course bookings. So with Road to a Mill, I also have a crash course. And so I usually just go to universities and do this, but I want this fall to start doing just game nights that I host, where people could come and, play the game. But if you go to the crash course booking site, if you know anyone or students and teachers or anyone interested in playing, I do kind of allow people to play the game and then actually break down the different analogies and things that are presented in the game and have those conversations about why things are set up the way they are, kind of the representation present in the cards, that kind of thing. Been doing it mostly at universities, but definitely open to doing it at other places.
Now, do you do crash course with Road to Mill?
Yeah, just Road to a Mill for right now.
Oh, okay. So that basically, if schools, programs, families, Thanksgiving, whatever, a family coming into town, family reunions,
Mhm.
you will go out and do a crash course with them around Road to Mill,
Yeah.
and they walk away with more information about financial literacy.
Yes, they do.
Do a game.
Hmm?
Do a game.
Mhm.
Through a game, Black inspired, and okay, I'm okay. All right. Today I really enjoyed this Mental Health Monday. Today's really been good.
This
Miss
is
Toya
great.
Washington. I'm starting off my Monday well. The rest of the day is going to be well. The rest of the week's going to be well. The rest of the month is going to be well. Well, the rest of the quarter, next
Mhm.
quarter, and the rest of the year.
Exactly. And like I said, do not let one moment take away the whole thing. Right? You just got to keep it going. And
Anissa, there are so many nuggets from this interview. I can't wait to see what you do when you break this up and make these reels. Because Toyo, you got a little something with you. I
mhm.
listen. I'm. This was good. This was good. Folks, please remember to go to the website. It's there. It's pinned at the top of the comments. And I'll also, well, you can do that as like a banner as well. Take a screenshot of that. Themasterstools.com, even in the name. Oh, hold on. Totally off the subject, but I know you can speak to this. We'll end with this. A little political. So you talked about the first feminist movement not involving, Black women.
Mhm.
There's this progressive movement across the country. There's this progressive movement in Massachusetts. There's this progressive movement in Boston. Where are we with the progressive movement by your experience when it comes to the progressives really informing and leading the movement that is so much about us, but we're not? Well, what's your assessment and observation? Because when you brought that up, I said I can't let you go away without asking you about this because I really believe you can speak to it.
Mhm. Well, yeah. Like as someone who's been also organizing for the last few years, and I remember when I had led the protest from Nubian Square to the State House. Um, it was about 25,000 people there, yet there were no elected officials after that that had reached out until election season. And that's when they decided to care about what we did.
Wait. I'm sorry. I didn't know you was gonna say that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Um, and so I was honestly before that, I only organized on campus. So it was like it was smaller. And like I was used to the administration, like the president administration doing stuff like that. I was used to it, but like then when it became like a local thing, I was like, oh, this is the vibes here, I guess. And I think that it's interesting because they do sometimes have, Black community leaders present. But what I would like to see is different Black community leaders present. And when I say that, I mean not just different faces, but different generations. Because when I see like, new boards being announced or new committees being made and all of these things, it's the same people all the time. And it's just like Boston don't have 30 Black people. So why are y'all having, you know, the same? Yeah, I don't know. I said it. We need to diversify who's on the committees, who's on the things, because with that brings new perspective, different perspective. And as someone, I'm a 25-year-old Black woman in the city, and my experience is very different from someone who was 40, very different from someone who was 60. So I feel like we need all of those perspectives because they build something. They make it a better community for all of us. And if you go to places like Atlanta or DC, they have places for the Black and young, the Black and queer, the Black and creative, the Black and tech. But here, not so much. And I would like to see that change. We're not just asking for space for Black people, all Black people of all different types. And so I really want to see them include people because they do include some people, but not enough. And it's not the same. I mean, it's not different people, it's the same people. And because of that, you see the same stuff happening. So I just need to see a little bit more. That is definitely how I feel about the progressiveness happening in the city, because yes, it's going a direction, and especially over the last few years, I'm seeing like, okay, we got things in the seaport now. We're getting space. We're doing like the things, but again, I just need to see a little bit of a variety here. I need different. Not don't just invite us to the table. I need us to rotate who come into the table so that we could, really get things shifting for real.
Um,
That have made some people mad, but
no, listen,
don't let your moment be a bad day.
it has not been often on this platform where I sit and I'm like, well, I really don't have too much to say after that. And as Heidi said, oh well, too bad.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, Miss Toyo, Queen Toyo. Okay. So I'm just going to, because we can stay here. I'm just going to go ahead and let you go. Folks, don't. Here comes Shamika. She's and this is she, everybody know where me and Mika lie. A very truth teller. She's not going to type that if she really does not believe it. And so, folks, please remember to go. The holidays are coming. What I would encourage you to do is get your orders in now. And you know how y'all do. Y'all hide stuff in the closet, in the bottom drawer, and under the dresser before Christmas and whatnot. Kwanzaa. Go get them games early and put an order in. I want this, and you can get me later, Toyo. I want you by October 15th, just with about 10 minutes of a little bit of anxiety, because so many orders came in, but you're going to figure it out in 10 minutes, click and get your restock and whatnot. But let's shut her website down. Let's have Mother and Teresa said that she uses her children, but let's have you have to use your mother and your cousins and your aunties and put out a post, talk about I need 20 people to come meet me at the community center because I got to get out 5,000. Listen, I really appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much for coming into the Java Cafe. We celebrate you as a Black-owned business during this month. We hope that there's an impact from you being on the show. Please let me know. And if y'all have, is there a comment in the shopping area or whatever for them to put notes when they order?
No, but my email is there.
Okay.
To reach out about anything.
Just let me know if you experience any sort of uptick in the next few days or orders or whatever. But because they go in and support, they really do. From Cash Apps to you have Cash App?
I do. So it's the same thing. It's just my the email. Can I add that too?
Can put that in a private chat?
Okay.
Because let's support this sister. Listen. We'll get y'all support this sister and send her. And if I could ask you, this is restricted funding. This is anything that coming with Cash App. Y'all put a note there and put Java. Oh God, you did it slick. Hold on. That cut and paste is going to be real. You made it real easy. Now let me see if I can work it out. So it's just the Cash App, and then we'll do the. All right. So obviously just take away everything after the @ right?
Yeah.
That's the Cash App. Is that it? The Masters LLC?
Yeah, but it'll be connected to Gmail. But yeah, they should see it.
No, but that's where the if we hit that Cash App right now, that's where you'll.
Yeah.
All right, let's make her phone ding real quick, y'all. Come on. $3, $5, $10, $20. Let's go. Just as a gesture, Toyo, for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. I'm sure you've inspired more than me, and others that are in here as well. And you're 25?
Yeah.
Jesus Lord. If I had started 20, okay. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. Masters, TOOL.
TOIELL.
Oh no, I'm at tools now. I'm good. I'm almost ready to hit send. All right, TOOLSLLC. Oh, it didn't pop up. The Masters tool. Oh, no, that's the call.
And it'll have my logo on it.
Okay. T-O. There it is. All right. I just sent mine. So y'all join me and send y'all as well and support this sister. Don't forget to go to the website. Yes, Heidi, don't compare your journey. We're in our timing. Yes, ma'am. Toyo, thank you. I will be checking in with you soon. Maybe we can figure out a way to do a pop-up night, something. I have the whole after dark thing that just so many ideas and plans. I just need to get it together. Oh, Heidi said, I love her. She's spicy.
Thank you.
Toyo,
Absolutely. Do a game night or something.
absolutely. And the sisters have been wanting to get together and do something as well. So this might be a good idea. All right, Toyo, thank you. Because again, we could stay here all day and just keep conversing. And yes, I appreciate you folks. Please go support this sister. Go to the website. Also support through the Cash App as well. And Toyo, my only thing is anything with the Cash App, use that for some self-care for yourself.
Thank you.
Nails, feet, massage, eat something a little unhealthy. Enjoy yourself, sis. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This was great.
Absolutely. And we'll make sure we get you the video as well, because you drop some nuggets up on here. Thank you so much.
Okay. You have a good day.
You too, hon. Bye-bye. We'll see you tomorrow morning. This is a shame. Anissa, if you're this is terrible. We'll see you tomorrow morning for Testimony Tuesday. When I tell you the confidence that started, growing with Rachel and Tay, and now the Davis system has stepped in and whatnot. I just gotta look and see who's on for tomorrow. We do have a guest on. I can't find it right now, but we have a guest on tomorrow that we're highlighting all this month. Black-owned businesses. Don't forget, August 30th, we are back at WGBH. I will have a flyer, the Eventbrite, and more information out about that, and birthday information as well. That's it for me today. Thank you all for joining. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Have a great, productive day, everybody. And that sister was good. I got to go take a few clips up out of there. All right, y'all have a wonderful day. And again, just one more. Oh, tomorrow we are having Joanna of Thumbprint Realty and Thumbprint Cares. They are doing a lot in the community, the Thumbprint Foundation. I'm saying foundation, but that's the work that they do. So they'll be with us tomorrow at 9 a.m. We're going to learn about the work that they're doing. They are, I believe, a Black-owned realty company here in the city of Boston, and they have a whole foundation arm. Lorna, thank you for sending that. Let me just see if I can get that up real quick. Facebook. I would presume it's in the inbox. Here we go. Yep, Lorna sent the photo. Now, where's the photo? All right, let me I think I can do this. Lorna, just stop screen, share screen. This is a flyer for an event Lorna is doing. The date's going to be right here. Here we go. It is the Survivors Healing Mass sponsored by St. Catherine Dresco's Parish. Lorna Heron, friends and family of Lorna Heron. That is taking place on August 22nd at 5:30 p.m. Begin with praise and worship with Adam Littlejohn. Those of you that remember know Adam Littlejohn. That's all right. So that's taking place on August 22nd at 5:30 at Catherine Drexel on Blue Hill Ave. Reach out to Lorna for more information. Lorna, thank you so much for making sure I got that flyer. Thank all of you for joining this morning. And we will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Have a great day, everybody. And remember to make your mental health a priority. Be sensitive to where you are. As our guest talked about, Toyo, don't stay in that sunken place. Be present with it, but don't let, and we've said this before on this platform, don't wallow in it. All right. We'll see you guys.